Did you know Moremi Ajasoro was a legendary woman? Moremi Ajasoro was a revered Yoruba queen from Ile-Ife, known for her bravery and intelligence. Married to Oranmiyan, she devised a bold plan to save her people from the marauding Igbo invaders by allowing herself to be captured to learn their secrets. Discovering that the invaders used raffia disguises to appear as spirits, she escaped and revealed this to her people, enabling them to defeat the attackers. Her courageous actions symbolize self-sacrifice, patriotism, and the triumph of intelligence over fear. Celebrated annually during the Edi Festival, Moremi's legacy endures as a powerful symbol of heroism and resilience in Yoruba culture. Her story also highlights the pivotal role of women in African history and their significant contributions to the survival and success of their communities.
Nelson Mandela was a key figure in South Africa's history, known for his leadership in ending apartheid. Born in 1918, Mandela joined the African National Congress and fought against racial segregation. Imprisoned for 27 years starting in 1962, he became a global symbol of resistance. His release in 1990 led to negotiations that ended apartheid, and in 1994, he was elected South Africa's first black president. Mandela focused on reconciliation and unity, promoting forgiveness among divided racial groups. His presidency marked a new era of hope and democracy, significantly improving international relations. Mandela's enduring influence extends beyond politics, embodying the principles of justice and human rights. Awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993, Mandela's legacy remains a powerful example of courage and transformative leadership.
Oduduwa is a pivotal figure in Yoruba history and mythology, celebrated as the progenitor of the Yoruba people. According to legend, Oduduwa descended from the heavens to establish the ancient city of Ile-Ife, which is regarded as the cradle of Yoruba civilization. His arrival marked the beginning of a new era for the Yoruba, as Ile-Ife became a center of cultural, spiritual, and political development. Oduduwa's establishment of Ile-Ife set the foundation for the growth and spread of Yoruba culture and governance. He is also credited with founding the Oyo Empire, which later became a dominant force in West Africa. His legacy endures in Yoruba tradition and oral history, symbolizing the unity and origins of the Yoruba people, and his descendants continue to play influential roles in Yoruba society today.
Did you know who Shaka Zulu was? Shaka Zulu, born in 1787, was a legendary African warrior and king who revolutionized the Zulu kingdom. His innovative military tactics, such as the introduction of the short stabbing spear and rigorous training, transformed the Zulu army into a powerful force. Under his leadership from 1816 to 1828, the Zulu kingdom expanded significantly, uniting various tribes and becoming a dominant power in southern Africa. Shaka Zulu's legacy remains influential, symbolizing strength, leadership, and the unification of the Zulu people. Despite his controversial methods, his impact on military strategy and African history is undeniable, making him a key figure studied and respected worldwide. His story continues to inspire many, reflecting the rich cultural heritage and resilience of the Zulu nation.
Did you know about Queen Amina of Zazzau? Queen Amina, also known as Amina of Zaria, was a legendary warrior queen who ruled the city-state of Zazzau, present-day Zaria in Nigeria, during the 16th century. She is celebrated for her military exploits and her significant role in expanding her kingdom. Amina led her armies on numerous successful campaigns, extending Zazzau's territory and influence far and wide. She is credited with building the famous city walls of Zaria, known as Ganuwar Amina, which still stand today. Her reign not only demonstrated her exceptional leadership and military skills, but also left a lasting legacy in Nigerian history and folklore. Amina's story continues to inspire and symbolize the strength and capabilities of women leaders. Her legacy is a testament to the power and resilience of women in history.
Joan of Arc, born in 1412, emerged as a French heroine during the 100 Years' War. Inspired by divine visions, she led the French army to several key victories against the English, including the lifting of the siege at Orléans. Despite facing persecution and betrayal, Joan remained steadfast in her mission to crown Charles VII as the rightful king of France. Captured by the English, she was unjustly tried for heresy and burned at the stake in 1431. Joan's courage and unwavering faith have immortalized her as a symbol of French patriotism and resilience.
Japan's history is a tapestry woven with tradition, innovation, and resilience. From its ancient origins influenced by Chinese culture to the rise of powerful samurai clans during the feudal era, Japan has navigated through periods of both isolation and transformation. The Meiji Restoration in the late 19th century heralded a new era of modernization, propelling Japan onto the global stage. However, this era also saw Japan's imperial ambitions, leading to its involvement in World War II and subsequent defeat. The post-war period witnessed Japan's remarkable economic recovery, paving the way for its emergence as a technological and economic powerhouse in the modern world. Today, Japan stands as a beacon of innovation, blending its rich cultural heritage with cutting-edge technology and global influence. Three youthful rulers wielded power in unconventional ways. At just 16, King Christian of Denmark was more enamored with self-gratification than governance, earning the nickname King Masturbator as he indulged in solitary pursuits. Emperor Elagabalus, enthroned at 14, exhibited a penchant for chaos, releasing wild animals during feasts and gladiatorial contests. His reckless behavior led to his demise at 18, met with relief by the people of Rome. Perhaps the most bizarre was 34-year-old Peter III of Russia, whose obsession with dolls surpassed reason. He staged a military parade for a doll and even conducted a mock trial for a rat that damaged it, showcasing his childlike tendencies in governance. In 480 BC, Xerxes I of Persia, leading an army of approximately 150,000 soldiers, sought to conquer Greek city-states. To delay his advance, Leonidas I, king of Sparta, chose to make a stand at the narrow pass of Thermopylae with just 7,000 Greek soldiers. Despite their bravery and strategic advantage, they faced relentless assaults from Xerxes' forces, who outnumbered them vastly. The Greeks, under Leonidas' command, held their ground for days, inflicting heavy casualties on the Persians. However, a local named Ephialtes betrayed the Greeks, revealing a hidden path that allowed the Persians to flank them. Recognizing their impending defeat, Leonidas dismissed most of his troops, but opted to remain with his loyal 300 Spartans, fighting bravely until the end. World War II, spanning from 1939 to 1945, was a global conflict involving major powers from various regions, reshaping the course of history. Triggered by the expansionist policies of Nazi Germany, led by Adolf Hitler, and imperial ambitions of Japan, the war witnessed devastating battles across Europe, the Pacific, Africa, and beyond. It saw the rise of iconic leaders like Winston Churchill, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and Joseph Stalin, who spearheaded the Allied efforts against the Axis powers of Germany, Italy, and Japan. Key events, such as the Battle of Stalingrad, D-Day, and the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, marked significant turning points, leading to the eventual defeat of the Axis powers and the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers in the post-war era. Here are some peculiar and lesser-known historical tidbits. In ancient Egypt, people would shave off their eyebrows to mourn the death of their cats. Early American settlers resorted to using corn cobs as an unconventional form of toilet paper. In 1912, Franz Reichelt tragically perished when he jumped off the Eiffel Tower wearing a homemade parachute. During the Middle Ages, there was a widespread belief that falling asleep in church could lead to demonic possession. In 17th century Europe, nannies would give young boys handies to induce a sleep. In ancient Greece, rejected suitors could sue their intended partners for damages. Lastly, the 1904 Olympic Marathon in St. Louis was won by an American runner who hitched a ride in a car for 11 miles, showcasing his determination to secure victory.
The romantic notion of pirates burying their treasure is more fiction than fact. While tales of maps leading to chests brimming with gold abound, pirates were more inclined to enjoy their wealth immediately rather than hide it away. Instead of saving, they indulged in extravagant hats, copious rum, and lively times at port. With a perilous and unpredictable life at sea, they favored instant gratification over uncertain futures. Captain William Kidd stands as a notable exception, burying some treasure on Gardiner's Island, albeit unsuccessfully, as it was swiftly recovered and used against him in court. Thus, while buried pirate treasure captivates imaginations, it's largely a product of storytelling rather than historical reality.
A remarkable wonder of history is the Colosseum in Rome, Italy. Completed in AD 80, it was the largest amphitheater ever built, capable of holding up to 80,000 spectators who gathered to witness gladiatorial contests, animal hunts, and other public spectacles. Its innovative design and engineering, including a system of pulleys and trapdoors, allowed for elaborate and dramatic performances. Despite centuries of natural disasters and human intervention, the Colosseum still stands as an iconic symbol of ancient Rome's grandeur and cultural legacy, attracting millions of visitors from around the world each year. Milo of Croton, an ancient Greek wrestler and athlete, emerged as a legendary figure during the 6th century BC. Renowned for his exceptional strength and prowess in wrestling, Milo achieved numerous victories in prestigious athletic competitions, including the Olympic Games. Famed for his dedication to physical training, he was said to have carried a bull on his shoulders before single-handedly slaughtering it, a testament to his extraordinary power. His unparalleled feats of strength and skill have cemented his legacy as one of the greatest wrestlers in ancient history, inspiring awe and admiration for generations to come. Debates persist regarding Cleopatra's racial identity. Some scholars contend she was white, citing her birth into the Ptolemaic dynasty of Greek origin and her Greek education and culture. Conversely, others argue she was black or of African descent, citing ancient artwork depicting her with dark skin and African features. In 2009, archaeologists discovered the remains of Cleopatra's sister, Arsinoe, suggesting their mother was African. This finding implies Cleopatra may have had mixed ancestry. The question of Cleopatra's race continues to spark discussion and interpretation. What are your thoughts on this matter? Share your views in the comments.
George Washington, born in 1732, stands as a towering figure in American history. As a fearless leader, he led the Continental Army to victory during the Revolutionary War, enduring harsh winters at Valley Forge. Elected as the first president of the United States in 1789, Washington's leadership guided the young nation through its formative years. Known for his integrity and unwavering commitment to liberty, he laid the foundation for the principles of democracy. His legacy as a brave hero continues to inspire generations, reminding us of the enduring values upon which America was founded.
Joan of Arc's journey from peasant to hero is a story of courage, determination, and unwavering faith. Born into a humble peasant family in Domremy, France, Joan experienced visions and heard voices from saints urging her to help the Dauphin reclaim his throne during the 100 Years' War. Despite facing skepticism and ridicule, Joan remained steadfast in her belief in her divine mission. Dressed in men's clothing, she convinced the Dauphin's court to allow her to lead French troops into battle. Joan's leadership and strategic brilliance led to several key victories, including the lifting of the siege of Orléans and the coronation of Charles VII. However, her success attracted enemies, and she was eventually captured by the English, tried for heresy, and burned at the stake at just 19 years old. Despite her tragic end, Joan of Arc's legacy as a symbol of French unity and heroism endures to this day.
The Apache warriors, led by fierce leaders like Geronimo, were renowned for their skilled guerrilla tactics and unwavering defense of their lands against Spanish, Mexican, and American settlers. Masters of stealth and ambush, they utilized the rugged terrain of North America to their advantage, striking fear into the hearts of their adversaries. Their bravery and resilience in the face of adversity continue to be celebrated as a testament to their enduring legacy in Native American history.
Napoleon's rise to power was marked by audacious displays of authority and defiance. He seized the crown from the Pope, anointing himself as a symbol of sovereignty. Unfazed by political attacks, He declared himself the embodiment of authority, dismissing petty politics. Confronting Louis XVII's troops upon his return to France, he stood alone, daring any to challenge him. With unwavering confidence, he bared his chest, inviting any soldier to strike him down. His boldness swayed the troops, who abandoned their allegiance to Louis XVIII, rallying to Napoleon's side. In these epic thug life moments, Napoleon solidified his status as a formidable leader, unyielding in the face of adversity. In the 1500s, Queen Elizabeth banned commoners from wearing luxurious attire, ostensibly to shield them from financial strain, though likely driven by elitist motives. This maneuver masked the true intent, preserving the exclusivity of the wealthy. During the Middle Ages, deceptive practices proliferated as churches vied for pilgrims, peddling false relics to exploit the devout and economically disadvantaged. Greek king Mithridates' claim of possessing a universal antidote in 100 BC captivated the masses, despite its incredibility. The allure of immunity to poisons fueled widespread belief in his concoction. Even in the 1800s, dubious remedies continued to be peddled for profit, highlighting the enduring exploitation of the vulnerable by the affluent.
The Muslim general who never tasted defeat in battle, Khalid ibn al-Walid, epitomized the essence of a one-man army. A brilliant tactician and the finest warrior on the battlefield, he remained undefeated in over 50 battles. His greatest weapon? The mastery of psychological warfare. Before engaging in battle, he fearlessly challenged opposing commanders to duels, often securing victories or prompting humiliating refusals, both of which shattered enemy morale. Khalid strategically divided his army into groups, arriving at different times, creating the illusion of boundless reinforcements. But above all, he instilled in his soldiers a profound sense of purpose. For Khalid's men, martyrdom was an unparalleled honor. In one instance, when his enemies refused to surrender, Khalid declared, "If you refuse, then there can only be war between us. You will face men who love death as much as you love life."
When considering historical women for a date, there are three intriguing options. First, there are the Ispartan warriors. Tall, muscular, and exceptionally tough, these women were skilled wrestlers and proficient with the bow and javelin. Beyond their physical prowess, they were also politically astute, actively involved in state matters. Next, we have the women of the Mongol Empire. Though not as physically imposing as Spartans, they were highly athletic. Skilled hunters and horse riders, they played vital roles in logistics and transportation due to their nomadic lifestyle. Lastly, there are the ancient Roman women. Traditional and family-focused, Roman women were primarily wives and mothers. Some owned businesses like pottery, while others engaged in charitable work. But their main focus was always on raising children and managing the household. When considering historical women for a date, there are three intriguing options. First, there are the Ispartan warriors. Tall, muscular, and exceptionally tough, these women were skilled wrestlers and proficient with the bow and javelin. Beyond their physical prowess, they were also politically astute, actively involved in state matters. Next, we have the women of the Mongol Empire. Though not as physically imposing as Spartans, they were highly athletic. Skilled hunters and horse riders, they played vital roles in logistics and transportation due to their nomadic lifestyle. Lastly, there are the ancient Roman women. Traditional and family-focused, Roman women were primarily wives and mothers. Some owned businesses like pottery, while others engaged in charitable work. But their main focus was always on raising children and managing the household.
Even ancient Romans had a fascination with blondes. Initially, they preferred dark brunette hair, associating blonde hair with the Gauls, whom they considered barbaric. However, when Rome conquered northern Europe in the 1st century BC, cultures mixed, and blonde envy spread. Roman noblewomen began wearing wigs made from natural blonde hair, creating a lasting fashion trend. To achieve blonde hair, Romans used bleaching agents and dyes made from goat fat, beechwood ashes, plants, and nuts, sunbathing to lighten their hair. Wealthier individuals even added actual gold dust. Gray hair was unfashionable, so Romans darkened their hair with mixtures of ashes, boiled walnut shells, and earthworms. Some dyes and bleaches damaged hair, leading to the use of wigs.
Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer and navigator who completed 4 voyages across the Atlantic Ocean, opening the way for the widespread European exploration and colonization of the Americas. Born in the Republic of Genoa, Italy, in 1451, Columbus embarked on his first voyage in 1492, funded by the Spanish monarchs Ferdinand II and Isabella I. Sailing westward from Europe, he landed in the Americas, mistakenly believing he had reached the East Indies. Columbus made subsequent voyages in 1493, 1498, and 1502, exploring the Caribbean and the coasts of Central and South America. Although his voyages were not the first to reach the Americas, they marked the beginning of sustained European contact and colonization of the New World. Columbus's expeditions had a profound impact on the world, leading to the Columbian Exchange and significant cultural exchanges between the Old World and the New World. Genghis Khan, the legendary Mongol leader, met his end in 1227, but the circumstances of his death remain shrouded in mystery. While many theories exist, one account suggests he was thrown from his horse during battle, sustaining severe injuries. Another tale proposes that he died from injuries sustained after falling from his horse while hunting. Some even speculate that he was assassinated by a rival tribe or betrayed by his own. Regardless of the cause, Genghis Khan's legacy continues to fascinate and inspire. The great conqueror may have fallen, but his impact on history endures. Subscribe to our channel for more history shorts. Ibn Battuta, a Moroccan scholar and explorer, is best known for his extensive travels during the 14th century. Setting out from his hometown of Tangier in 1325, he journeyed across Africa, Asia, and Europe for nearly 30 years. Battuta's travels took him to over 44 modern-day countries, covering a distance of approximately 75,000 miles. Throughout his journey, he visited major Islamic centers, royal courts, and remote regions, documenting his experiences in his famous travelogue, the Rihla. Ibn Battuta's detailed accounts provide valuable insights into the cultures, societies, and geography of the medieval world, making him one of history's greatest travelers.
The civilization of South Africa is rich and diverse, with a complex history that dates back thousands of years. From the indigenous San and Khoisan peoples to the Bantu migrations and the rise of powerful kingdoms like the Zulu and Xhosa, South Africa's history is marked by cultural diversity and innovation. The arrival of European settlers, primarily the Dutch and British, brought significant changes, including colonialism, slavery, and the forced displacement of indigenous peoples. The struggle against apartheid in the 20th century was a defining moment, leading to the eventual establishment of a democratic South Africa in 1994. Today, South Africa is a vibrant and diverse nation, known for its multiculturalism, natural beauty, and rich heritage. Al-Khwarizmi, c. 780–850 CE, was a Persian mathematician, astronomer, and geographer whose work laid the foundations for algebra and significantly influenced mathematics and science. Known as the father of algebra, his seminal work introduced fundamental concepts and operations. His name gave rise to the term algorithm, and he contributed to the adoption of the Hindu-Arabic numeral system. Al-Khwarizmi also made significant advances in astronomy and geography. His works, translated into Latin in the 12th century, had a profound impact on medieval European science and mathematics, cementing his legacy as a key figure of the Islamic Golden Age. Did you know that looking this man in the eyes was punishable by death? His name was Ismail, and he was the ruler of Morocco in the 1700s. Despite being the son of a black slave, he enslaved every black person in the empire, including free ones. He built one of the largest prisons for European Christians, shackling them to walls and forcing them to sleep standing up. Ismail had an extreme aversion to people looking at him and would have people killed for merely glancing at him or his women. If you encountered one of his 4 wives or 500 concubines, you had to lie face down to avoid accusations. Remarkably, he also holds a Guinness World Record for fathering 888 children.
In 75 BC, Julius Caesar was kidnapped by a group of Cilician pirates while traveling to Rhodes. They initially demanded 20 talents of silver for his release, but Caesar, feeling insulted by the low ransom, insisted they ask for 50 talents, which he believed was more fitting for someone of his status. During his captivity, Caesar adapted to his circumstances by asserting his dominance, even shushing the pirates when he wanted to sleep and participating in their activities, establishing a friendly rapport with them. He repeatedly joked about coming back to crucify them after his release, but the pirates dismissed his threats as harmless banter. After his ransom was paid and he was freed, Caesar stayed true to his word. He raised a fleet, returned to the pirates' stronghold, captured them, and crucified them all, showing a measure of mercy by ordering their throats to be slit before the crucifixion. What was the primary cause of the American Civil War? A. The taxation policies of the federal government. B. The election of Thomas Jefferson. C. Slavery and states' rights. D. The discovery of gold in California. What's your answer? The correct answer is C. Slavery and states' rights. Who was the first president of the United States? A. Thomas Jefferson. B. John Adams. C. George Washington. D. James Madison. What's your answer? The correct answer is C. George Washington. What is the capital of the United States? A. New York City. B. Los Angeles. C. Washington, D.C. D. Chicago. What's your answer? The correct answer is A. New York City. Who is known as the King of Hollywood? A. Clark Gable. B. Cary Grant. C. Humphrey Bogart. D. James Stewart. What's your answer? The correct answer is A. Clark Gable. Who played the character of Jack Dawson in Titanic? A. Brad Pitt. B. Johnny Depp. C. Leonardo DiCaprio. D. Matt Damon. What's your answer? The correct answer is C. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Ancient Africa was home to diverse and influential civilizations, such as Egypt, Nubia, Carthage, Axum, Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. Egypt, famous for its pyramids and advancements in various fields, contributed greatly to human knowledge and culture. Nubia, known for its powerful kingdoms and iron-working skills, thrived south of Egypt. Carthage, a Mediterranean trading empire, engaged in conflicts with Rome and left a lasting impact on trade routes. Axum, located in modern-day Ethiopia, adopted Christianity and became a major trading hub. Ghana, Mali, and Songhai were West African empires known for their wealth, cultural achievements, and control over lucrative trade routes. These civilizations played a crucial role in shaping African and global history through their innovations, trade networks, and cultural exchanges. Hattori Hanzo, a legendary ninja of the Sengoku era in Japan, became renowned for his exceptional skills and fearless leadership. At just 20, Hanzo led a daring night siege on Kogo Castle to rescue the emperor's daughters, who had been kidnapped by a rival clan. Hanzo's stealth and cunning were unmatched. He moved through the castle like a shadow, climbing walls and evading guards. Despite their efforts, they found no trace of the girls. Refusing to abandon the mission, Hanzo and his men adapted, launching a relentless assault on the castle's defenders. Their tenacity paid off when they captured a high-ranking general, who was used as leverage to secure the release of the hostages. Hanzo's bravery and strategic mind earned him the title Oni no Hanzo, or Demon Hanzo, a name that still echoes in the annals of ninja history. Hans Scharf, a famous Nazi interrogator during World War II, used kindness instead of cruelty. Unlike typical harsh methods, Scharf took prisoners on nature walks, shared homemade treats from his wife, and engaged in casual conversations. His psychological tactics were subtle. He pretended not to know certain details to encourage prisoners to talk willingly. By framing his questions as orders from his superiors, he made prisoners believe he already knew everything, prompting them to reveal valuable information. Scharf's methods, rooted in empathy and rapport building, proved highly effective. His approach was so successful that today, his techniques are still studied in U.S. military schools, showcasing their lasting impact on interrogation practices. In ancient times, people had some very strange customs. In Rome, women bought pots of gladiator sweat to use as face cream to improve their skin. The Egyptians used crocodile dung as a contraceptive, which worked because it repelled sperm, though its grossness likely also kept people away. Among the Vikings, a slave girl had to join her master in the afterlife, performing sexual rites before being sacrificed by the village matriarch. Persians made decisions while drunk. If they still agreed with the decision when sober, it was considered correct. The Ottomans had a brutal tradition. Each new sultan would execute his male siblings to prevent power struggles, leading to a grim procession of coffins, often of infants at the start of each new reign. The deadliest encounter between animals and humans took place in 1945 in Myanmar. Japanese soldiers, trapped by enemy forces, had to decide between dying in battle or crossing a 10-mile swamp teeming with saltwater crocodiles, the largest reptiles on Earth. This led to the deadliest man versus wild event in history. Around 1,000 soldiers ventured into the swamp, facing a brutal onslaught from the crocodiles. The air was filled with scattered rifle shots and the terrifying screams of men being crushed in the jaws of the massive reptiles. Some soldiers managed to survive by climbing trees. Out of the 1,000 soldiers who entered the swamp, only 20 emerged alive, ironically rescued by the very enemies they were trying to escape. Thank you for exploring history with us. Walt Whitman, born in 1819 in Long Island, started his career in various roles, including printer's apprentice and journalist, before gaining fame with Leaves of Grass in 1855. This groundbreaking work, known for its free verse, delves into themes of democracy, nature, individualism, and the human spirit, highlighting a deep connection between body, nature, and the universe. Whitman's impact on American literature is profound, inspiring many writers and breaking traditional poetic forms. Despite his declining health later in life, he continued to write, influenced by his Civil War experiences as a volunteer nurse, which deepened his empathy and understanding of humanity. Whitman's legacy is celebrated for its emphasis on the individual and collective human experience, marking a foundational contribution to American literature. Walt Whitman, born in 1819 in Long Island, started his career in various roles, including printer's apprentice and journalist, before gaining fame with Leaves of Grass in 1855. This groundbreaking work, known for its free verse, delves into themes of democracy, nature, individualism, and the human spirit, highlighting a deep connection between body, nature, and the universe. Whitman's impact on American literature is profound, inspiring many writers and breaking traditional poetic forms. Despite his declining health later in life, he continued to write, influenced by his Civil War experiences as a volunteer nurse, which deepened his empathy and understanding of humanity. Whitman's legacy is celebrated for its emphasis on the individual and collective human experience, marking a foundational contribution to American literature.
Ancient Japan, from prehistoric times to around the 12th century AD, underwent significant cultural, governmental, and societal transformations. Starting with the Jomon and Yayoi periods and moving through the rise of centralized states during the Kofun and Asuka periods, Japan saw profound changes. The Nara and Heian eras marked the consolidation of power under the imperial court and the growth of aristocratic culture. Japanese society was shaped by influences from Buddhism, Confucianism, and indigenous Shinto beliefs, while literature and the arts flourished during the Heian period. These developments laid the foundation for Japan's unique cultural identity and political structure. If you found this information insightful, please like, subscribe, and share my channel.
Artwork in ancient history highlights the diverse cultures and civilizations of the time. Ancient Egypt is renowned for its monumental statues, detailed wall paintings, and exquisite artifacts like Tutankhamun's treasures. Ancient Greece is famous for its lifelike sculptures, detailed pottery, and architectural masterpieces such as the Parthenon. Ancient Rome is celebrated for its realistic portrait busts, intricate mosaics, and grand structures like the Colosseum. Ancient Mesopotamia produced massive ziggurats, intricate cylinder seals, and detailed reliefs. Ancient China is known for its bronze vessels, the terracotta army, and early silk paintings. The art from each civilization offers valuable insights into their society, religion, and daily life.
Did you know that brutal sports were prevalent in ancient empires and served various purposes? In ancient Rome, gladiator fights in arenas like the Colosseum entertained the masses and showcased the power of rulers, while chariot races in the Circus Maximus were both thrilling and perilous. Ancient Greece featured pankration, a violent martial art, and Pyrrhic dances performed for religious or commemorative purposes. In the Aztec Empire, the Mesoamerican ball game was fiercely competitive, and gladiatorial sacrifices were made as offerings to the gods. These violent sports were integral to their respective cultures, reflecting the values and norms of their societies. If you found this information insightful, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. The Spartans are often regarded as some of history's fiercest warriors, renowned for their military prowess, discipline, and unwavering dedication to their state. Their legendary reputation stems from rigorous training from childhood, a stoic mindset, and notable victories like the Battle of Thermopylae against the Persians. However, Spartan society had its complexities and limitations. Despite their military excellence, their focus on militarism and a rigid social structure resulted in limited individual freedoms and fewer cultural and artistic achievements compared to other Greek city-states. Thus, while the Spartans were undeniably impressive, labeling them the most badass people ever is subjective and depends on one's criteria for such a title. If you found this information insightful, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. The Onna Bugaisha were female samurai warriors in feudal Japan, known for their bravery, skill in martial arts, and use of weapons like the naginata. They defended their homes and clans with dedication, challenging the perception that samurai were exclusively male. Tomo Gozen, renowned for her role in the 12th century Genpei War, exemplified their prowess, leading troops with strategic brilliance. Nakano Takeko, a notable figure in the 19th century Boshin War, commanded a unit of warriors. Beyond battle, Onna Bugaisha managed households, educated children, and upheld family honor, challenging traditional gender roles. Their legacy underscores women's significant impact on Japanese history and the enduring importance of their role in samurai tradition. Labeling the most disgusting Roman emperor is subjective and varies based on personal perspectives. However, Emperor Nero, 37 to 68 CE, is frequently highlighted for his cruelty, debauchery, and tyranny. His reign saw numerous atrocities, such as the persecution of Christians following the Great Fire of Rome in 64 CE, which he allegedly blamed on them to deflect suspicion. Nero was notorious for his extravagant lifestyle, lavish spending, and ruthless treatment of his enemies, including his own family. His indulgence in excesses, like chariot races and stage performances, further tarnished his reputation. While Nero is undoubtedly one of history's most infamous rulers, it's essential to consider the historical context and complexity of his reign when evaluating his legacy. If you found this information insightful, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. The final words of famous leaders offer profound insights into their last moments. Julius Caesar expressed shock with "Et tu, Brute?" Socrates viewed death as a cure, saying, "We owe a cock to Asclepius." Marie Antoinette apologized with, "Pardon me, sir, I did not do it on purpose." Leonardo da Vinci lamented, "I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have." Napoleon Bonaparte reflected on his life with France, army, head of the army, Josephine. Winston Churchill conveyed his weariness with, "I'm bored with it all." John F. Kennedy's last words were, "No, you certainly can't." Martin Luther King Jr. requested his favorite hymn, "Take My Hand, Precious Lord," to be played. These words highlight their essence, regrets, and legacies.
In ancient South Africa, a brilliant scientist named Hypatia made significant contributions to astronomy, mathematics, and philosophy. She developed early astronomical charts and calendars, aiding her community in understanding celestial movements and predicting seasonal changes. Hypatia's mathematical advancements in geometry and algebra were applied to building and agriculture, enhancing societal efficiency. Despite limited resources and primitive tools, her innovative spirit allowed her to lay foundational knowledge that influenced future African scholars. Hypatia also taught and shared her knowledge, fostering a culture of learning and scientific inquiry. Her legacy is remembered as a beacon of early scientific thought and innovation in South Africa, showcasing the region's rich intellectual history.
Billy the Kid, born Henry McCarty around 1859, became one of the most famous outlaws of the American Old West. Orphaned at a young age, he started a life of crime early, beginning with small thefts. In his late teens, he changed his name to William H. Bonney and joined different gangs, getting involved in cattle stealing and other crimes. His most well-known time was during the Lincoln County War, 1878, in New Mexico, where he became famous for his shooting skills as part of the Regulators. Billy was known for his charm, making both friends and enemies. He was caught and escaped from jail several times, which added to his legend. In 1881, at just 21, he was found and killed by Sheriff Pat Garrett in Fort Sumner, New Mexico. Despite his short and violent life, Billy the Kid has been remembered in books, movies, and stories, becoming a symbol of the wild and untamed American frontier. Griselda Blanco, known as the Black Widow and La Madrina, was a notorious Colombian drug lord in the 1970s and 1980s. Born in 1943, she moved to the U.S. and established a powerful cocaine trafficking network in Miami, significantly aiding the rise of the Medellin cartel. Blanco's empire smuggled vast amounts of cocaine, earning millions, and she was infamous for her ruthless tactics, reportedly responsible for over 200 murders. Arrested in 1985, she continued her operations from prison until her release in 2004. Blanco was assassinated in 2012 in Medellin. Her life underscores the extreme violence of the cocaine trade and her lasting impact on organized crime history.
The Nigerian Prince scam, or 419 scam, is a common con where scammers pose as Nigerian royalty or officials needing help to transfer large sums of money. They promise recipients a significant share of the fortune for their assistance. Victims are asked for personal information and to pay fees, but the money never materializes. Instead, the scammers vanish with the funds. This scam exploits greed and trust, using detailed stories and fake documents to appear legitimate. Despite widespread awareness, the scam persists due to its adaptability. The term Nigerian Prince now symbolizes online fraud, highlighting the need for skepticism and caution in digital communications. The War of the Triple Alliance, 1864 to 1870, was a major conflict in South America where Paraguay fought against Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay. It started when Paraguayan leader Francisco Solano Lopez tried to expand his territory. The war caused immense devastation for Paraguay, with up to 90% of its male population killed and severe damage to its economy and infrastructure. Brazil and Argentina emerged as regional powers, while Paraguay faced long-lasting economic decline and political instability. This war is one of the deadliest in Latin American history and significantly changed the balance of power in the region.
Did you know that coffee was introduced to the world by Yemeni Sufi monks in the 15th century? These monks discovered the stimulating effects of coffee beans while living in Yemen's monasteries. using the brewed beverage to stay awake during their long hours of prayer and meditation. The drink quickly gained popularity and spread to the Arabian Peninsula, where coffee houses called kahve khana became centers of social interaction and intellectual exchange. This new beverage eventually made its way to Europe and the rest of the world, becoming a beloved daily ritual for millions. The introduction of coffee by Yemeni Sufi monks not only revolutionized social life, but also sparked economic and cultural exchanges across continents. Their discovery continues to energize and connect people globally. Coffee's journey from Yemeni monasteries to global popularity highlights its enduring impact on human culture and society.
Did you know that surgery was innovated by Al-Zahrawi, known as the father of modern surgery? Al-Zahrawi, also known as Abu Qasis, was a pioneering Muslim surgeon who lived in the 10th century. He wrote a comprehensive medical encyclopedia called Al-Tasrif, which included detailed illustrations of surgical instruments and techniques. This encyclopedia was used for centuries in Europe as a primary reference for surgical practices. Al-Zahrawi's work covered various aspects of medicine, including orthopedics, ophthalmology, and dentistry. His innovative methods and instruments laid the foundation for modern surgical procedures, significantly advancing the field of medicine. Al-Zahrawi's legacy continues to influence medical practices today, showcasing the enduring impact of his contributions. His dedication to teaching and documenting his knowledge ensured that future generations could benefit from his expertise.
Here's some hidden facts they don't want you to know. Night doctors, a dark chapter in medical history. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, night doctors were body snatchers who exhumed corpses, often targeting African American graves, to meet the demand for cadavers in medical schools. This practice fueled deep-seated fears in African American communities, exacerbating existing racial tensions and exploitation. The actions of night doctors led to a pervasive mistrust of the medical establishment, which lingers to this day. Despite eventual legal reforms to regulate the use of cadavers, the legacy of these practices underscores the importance of ethical standards in medicine and the protection of vulnerable communities.
Did you know that surgery was innovated by Al-Zahrawi, known as the father of modern surgery? Al-Zahrawi, also known as Abu Qasis, was a pioneering Muslim surgeon who lived in the 10th century. He wrote a comprehensive medical encyclopedia called Al-Tasrif, which included detailed illustrations of surgical instruments and techniques. This encyclopedia was used for centuries in Europe as a primary reference for surgical practices. Al-Zahrawi's work covered various aspects of medicine, including orthopedics, ophthalmology, and dentistry. His innovative methods and instruments laid the foundation for modern surgical procedures, significantly advancing the field of medicine. Al-Zahrawi's legacy continues to influence medical practices today, showcasing the enduring impact of his contributions. His dedication to teaching and documenting his knowledge ensured that future generations could benefit from his expertise.
Here's some hidden facts they don't want you to know. Night doctors, a dark chapter in medical history. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, night doctors were body snatchers who exhumed corpses, often targeting African American graves, to meet the demand for cadavers in medical schools. This practice fueled deep-seated fears in African American communities, exacerbating existing racial tensions and exploitation. The actions of night doctors led to a pervasive mistrust of the medical establishment, which lingers to this day. Despite eventual legal reforms to regulate the use of cadavers, the legacy of these practices underscores the importance of ethical standards in medicine and the protection of vulnerable communities. Did you know that the Eight Nations War, also known as the Boxer Rebellion, erupted in China from 1899 to 1901? It was driven by the Boxers, a Chinese secret society opposed to foreign influence and Christian missionary activities. The uprising quickly escalated into widespread violence against foreigners and Chinese Christians, especially in northern China. In response, an international alliance consisting of 8 nations, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Russia, Japan, and others, intervened to protect their citizens and interests. The conflict culminated in the siege of Beijing and the signing of the Boxer Protocol in 1901, which imposed heavy indemnities on China and further opened it to foreign influence. This event marked a significant turning point in Chinese history, weakening the Qing dynasty's authority and accelerating the country's transition towards revolution and modernization. Did you know these facts? The United Fruit Company, UFC, founded in 1899, quickly became a dominant force in the fruit trade, primarily dealing in bananas from Central and South America. It controlled significant portions of local economies through its vast plantations, transportation networks, and monopolistic practices. UFC's influence extended to political interference, most notably in the 1954 CIA-backed coup in Guatemala, and it was notorious for harsh labor practices, exemplified by incidents like the 1928 Banana Massacre in Colombia. Despite bringing modernization and infrastructure to the regions it operated in, UFC's exploitative methods earned it the nickname El Pulpo, the octopus. The company's legacy is a complex blend of economic development and corporate imperialism, symbolizing the intricate relationship between business and politics in the 20th century.
The Birth of a Nation was a highly controversial silent film released in 1915, directed by D.W. Griffith. It was based on Thomas Dixon Jr.'s novel The Klansman and portrayed the Civil War and Reconstruction periods through a Southern lens. The film depicted African Americans in derogatory stereotypes while glorifying the Ku Klux Klan, KKK, as heroic figures defending the South against Northern aggression and the supposed threat of African American political power. Technically, the film was groundbreaking, introducing advanced cinematic techniques such as close-ups, panoramic shots, and innovative editing methods. Despite protests and bans in some cities due to its racist content, The Birth of a Nation became a commercial success and is remembered for its significant impact on both the film industry and American society's racial attitudes at the time.
War of the Insane. The War of the Insane is a hidden and unsettling chapter in history, involving individuals whose mental states were manipulated to serve as soldiers in brutal conflicts. This war, shrouded in mystery and largely erased from mainstream narratives, reportedly resulted from rogue experiments aiming to weaponize psychological instability. Participants, often taken from asylums, were subjected to extreme mental and physical conditioning, transforming them into unpredictable and fierce combatants. The orchestrators of this war exploited the perceived weaknesses of the mentally ill, using them in shockingly inhumane ways. Historical records are scant and contradictory, but surviving documents and eyewitness accounts reveal chaotic battles and profound ethical dilemmas, highlighting the exploitation of vulnerable individuals and challenging our understanding of morality and warfare.
Did you know that Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Clay, was one of the most iconic figures in boxing history? Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Clay, was one of the most iconic figures in boxing history. He first gained prominence by winning the heavyweight title in 1964 at just 22 years old, defeating Sonny Liston. Known for his agility and charisma, Ali was a three-time world heavyweight champion, celebrated for epic bouts like the Rumble in the Jungle against George Foreman and the Thrilla in Manila with Joe Frazier. His refusal to fight in the Vietnam War, due to his religious beliefs and opposition to the draft, led to a suspension from boxing and a significant legal battle. Despite these challenges, Ali returned to the ring, continuing to make history and cement his legacy as a champion both in and out of the ring.
The Night Witches, an all-female pilot squadron formed by the Soviets during World War II, struck fear into the hearts of the Nazis with their daring nocturnal bombing missions. Despite flying outdated open-cockpit wooden biplanes, these courageous women successfully completed 23,000 bombing missions. Surprisingly, their obsolete planes proved advantageous, as their slower stall speed and small size made them difficult to target and undetectable by radar or radio locators. Dubbed Night Witches by the Nazis for the whooshing noise their planes made, they were so feared that rumors spread among German ranks of Soviet treatments, granting them cat-like night vision.
The American Civil War, fought from 1861 to 1865, was a defining moment in U.S. history, pitting the northern states, known as the Union, against the southern states, known as the Confederacy. Triggered by deep-rooted economic, social, and political differences, including slavery, tensions between the regions escalated until armed conflict erupted. Key battles like Gettysburg and Antietam saw immense casualties, reshaping the nation's landscape and identity. Abraham Lincoln's leadership and the Emancipation Proclamation shifted the war's focus to include the abolition of slavery, ultimately leading to the Union's victory and the reunification of the country, albeit with lasting scars and divisions.
The ancient history and early life of Black Africans are characterized by rich cultural diversity, innovative civilizations, and significant contributions to art, science, and governance. From prehistoric times to the emergence of powerful civilizations like ancient Egypt, West African kingdoms, and societies in Southern Africa, Black Africans demonstrated resilience, creativity, and ingenuity. They built monumental structures, developed advanced trade networks, and fostered vibrant cultural traditions that continue to influence the world. Despite facing challenges such as slavery and colonization, Black Africans have a legacy of innovation, cultural richness, and societal advancement that remains a source of pride and inspiration. The Great Wall of China, originating over 2,000 years ago, symbolizes China's rich history and cultural heritage. Initially constructed to fend off northern nomadic tribes, it underwent continuous expansion and fortification by various dynasties, notably the Ming Dynasty. Comprised of stone, brick, and earth, with watchtowers and fortresses strategically placed along its length, the wall stands as an iconic architectural feat. Despite its historical significance and engineering brilliance, its effectiveness in repelling invaders was limited. Nonetheless, it remains a symbol of China's resilience and draws millions of visitors annually.
The invention of writing around 3200 BCE refers to the development of systems to represent language and record information through symbols or characters. This milestone marked a significant advancement in human communication, allowing for the recording and preservation of knowledge, laws, customs, and other aspects of society. With the ability to write, civilizations could transmit information across generations and geographic distances, laying the foundation for the development of complex societies, legal systems, literature, and the accumulation of knowledge that characterizes recorded history.
In the Marai tribe, winning the woman of your dreams involves a daring feat, hunting a lion. But it's not just any hunt, it's more like an honorable battle. You must engage in an open fight with a lion, avoiding injured or female ones. As the lion charges, you stand your ground, risking your life. If you win, there's a grand celebration, and you're hailed as the Laru Miseki, the fearless lion hunter.
Hans Scharf, a prominent Nazi interrogator during World War II, employed unconventional methods that contradicted Nazi ideology. Rather than resorting to torture, he embraced kindness towards war prisoners. Scharf's tactics included friendly nature walks, sharing his wife's baked goods, and enjoying beers together. He even allowed an American prisoner to test fly a German plane. Scharf's mind games involved asking questions he already knew the answers to, subtly implying he was aware of everything about the prisoner. This tactic led the prisoners to divulge information, assuming he already knew it. Scharf's techniques were remarkably effective and are still taught in U.S. military schools today.
The Napoleonic Wars, 1803-1815, were a series of conflicts led by Napoleon Bonaparte, aiming to expand French influence in Europe after the French Revolution. Key battles like Austerlitz and Waterloo were crucial moments. Despite early victories, Napoleon's downfall came after the disastrous Russian invasion in 1812. His defeat at Waterloo in 1815 ended the era, leading to his exile. These wars reshaped Europe's borders, governments, and societies significantly, leaving a lasting impact. The Napoleonic Wars, 1803-1815, were a series of conflicts led by Napoleon Bonaparte, aiming to expand French influence in Europe after the French Revolution. Key battles like Austerlitz and Waterloo were crucial moments. Despite early victories, Napoleon's downfall came after the disastrous Russian invasion in 1812. His defeat at Waterloo in 1815 ended the era, leading to his exile. These wars reshaped Europe's borders, governments, and societies significantly, leaving a lasting impact.
The Roman Empire's vast legacy, marked by conquests and grandeur, remains a captivating chapter in history. Emerging from Italy, it expanded across 5 million square kilometers. The Colosseum, a monumental symbol of its power, witnessed fierce gladiatorial combat and even naval battles. This immense structure exemplified the empire's scale and brutality. Its influence and achievements endure as a testament to ancient civilization's prowess and ambition, shaping the course of history for centuries to come.
The Zulu warriors of South Africa were renowned for their bravery and military skill, originating from the Zulu kingdom in the early 19th century under leaders like Shaka Zulu. They employed innovative tactics such as the buffalo horn formation and wielded the deadly assegai spear. Despite facing European colonization, they fiercely defended their homeland with disciplined organization and indomitable spirit. Celebrated for their resilience and pride, they left a lasting legacy in South African history and culture as symbols of courage and defiance against adversity.
During World War II, the strongest armies included the Soviet Red Army, which with its vast size and industrial capacity, played a crucial role in defeating Nazi Germany on the Eastern Front. Nazi Germany's Wehrmacht, equipped with advanced weaponry and innovative tactics, initially swept through Europe with blitzkrieg tactics. The United States Army emerged as a global superpower, contributing significantly to key campaigns in Europe, Africa, and the Pacific. The British Army demonstrated resilience and tenacity, playing a crucial role in turning the tide of the war. The Imperial Japanese Army, with its expansionist ambitions and formidable naval power, posed a significant threat in the Pacific theater. These armies, among others, shaped the outcome of World War II through their strategies and contributions to the war effort. Julius Caesar was kidnapped by pirates demanding a ransom, which he negotiated for a higher amount. Despite his captivity, he developed a friendly rapport with the pirates, but jokingly threatened to crucify them upon his release. True to his word, Caesar returned after being freed, crucifying the pirates as promised. However, he showed mercy by ordering their throats slit before the crucifixion. This event showcases Caesar's wit and determination, as well as his willingness to uphold his word. It also highlights the harsh consequences of defying him, even with a hint of mercy in his actions. Commodus, the only Roman emperor to fight as a gladiator, was the sole male heir born to a sitting emperor in over a century. Despite being raised as the golden child of Rome, his ego inflated, believing himself to be a demigod. Neglecting his imperial duties, he indulged in excess, spending his time drinking and womanizing. To prove his imagined divine strength, he entered the arena, facing only crippled or dwarfed opponents, while charging the treasury exorbitant fees. His reckless behavior led to financial ruin and civil unrest, culminating in his demise at the hands of a hired wrestler, drowned in his own delusions. Egypt's history spans millennia, from the mighty pharaohs of ancient times to modern revolutions and upheavals. Along the Nile River, Egypt witnessed the rise and fall of dynasties, the construction of iconic pyramids and temples, and the blending of indigenous traditions with influences from conquerors like the Greeks and Romans. Its strategic location as a crossroads of continents ensured its importance in global trade and commerce, culminating in the construction of the Suez Canal. Today, Egypt continues to navigate its path, balancing its rich cultural heritage with the challenges of the modern world.
Genghis Khan's strategic use of daughter diplomacy was pivotal in solidifying his dominance in the East. Rather than simply marrying off his daughters to kings of allied nations, he imposed strict conditions. His daughters' marriages required the dismissal of other wives by the king, followed by military service in the Mongol Wars. Meanwhile, Genghis Khan's daughters managed the affairs of their husbands' kingdoms, ensuring their loyalty to the Mongol Empire. By deploying his sons-in-law in the first ranks of battle, Genghis Khan orchestrated their deaths, allowing his daughters to inherit their husband's empire. As rulers, their primary duty was to safeguard the Mongol homeland, while Genghis Khan expanded his empire further. Thus, the widowed daughters played a crucial role in Genghis Khan's remarkable success. History's famous leaders spoke iconic last words before their departure. Julius Caesar, betrayed by Roman senators, identified Marcus Brutus among them, uttering the timeless phrase, "Et tu, Brutus." Alexander the Great, facing illness, cryptically declared, "To the strongest," sparking a war among his generals. Augustus, Rome's first emperor, asked those around his deathbed to applaud if he played his part well. Napoleon's final words expressed deep sentiments for France, the army, and Josephine, encapsulating his profound attachments. These historic utterances capture the drama and complexity of pivotal moments in the lives of influential leaders. Irma Gracie, known as the Hyena of Auschwitz, was a cruel Nazi guard at Auschwitz. She slept with prisoners before sending them to gas chambers, beat women daily, and prioritized young and attractive girls for the chambers out of jealousy. Gracie participated in medical experiments, watched restrained women give birth, and had lampshades made from prisoners' skin. Arrested after the war, she received a death sentence at 22. Unapologetic, she sang Nazi songs the night before her execution and defiantly shouted "Schnell" just before the gallows trap opened. Gresse's atrocities and lack of remorse make her a chilling symbol of Nazi brutality during the Holocaust. A physician's unwitting involvement in political machinations led to a conflict between Persian king Cambyses and Egyptian pharaoh Amasis. Cambyses requested the best eye doctor from Amasis, leading to resentment for the chosen physician, who sought revenge. Advised by the doctor, Cambyses requested Amasis's favorite daughter as a gift. Amasis, aiming to avoid offense, sent the daughter of the former pharaoh. Unhappy with this arrangement, she revealed the trickery to Cambyses, who, enraged by the insult, invaded Egypt and defeated Pharaoh Amasis. The formidable granddaughter of Genghis Khan, Princess Kutlun of Mongolia, embraced high-stakes challenges. Renowned for her standing decree, she offered her hand in marriage to any man who could defeat her in a wrestling match. However, the tables turned for the unsuccessful challengers who, in defeat, had to surrender 100 horses to the fierce Mongol princess. Described by Marco Polo as well-made in all her limbs and exceptionally tall, Kutlun became a giant among women. Despite numerous attempts by men across the empire, the ferocious Mongol princess remained undefeated, amassing 10,000 horses but no husbands. Ancient empires embraced peculiar customs. Roman women used gladiator sweat as facial cream, while Egyptians turned to crocodile dung for contraception. Vikings had a troubling ritual where slave girls joined their masters in the afterlife through sexual rites before being sacrificed. Persians adopted an unusual decision-making tradition, getting drunk to confirm choices. Ottomans, to prevent succession wars, executed male siblings at the start of each reign, marked by a somber procession of coffins, including infants. These practices offer glimpses into the eccentricities and cultural nuances of diverse civilizations. Ragnar Lothbrok, a legendary Norse warrior in the 9th century, sought revenge against King Fro for his grandfather's death. Marrying Lagertha after defeating King Fro in Norway, he transitioned from typical Viking raids to visionary pursuits. Ragnar signed treaties, establishing Viking settlements on foreign shores. After his second wife's death, he intensified warmongering, killing King Haim and raiding Paris. In his later years, Ragnar's sons continued his legacy, prompting him to attempt an ambitious conquest of England with 2 ships. However, he was captured by King Aelle, who sentenced him to die in a pit of snakes. Dive into the unusual world of ancient Egyptian pregnancy tests, where women urinated in 2 distinct bags filled with barley and wheat. The presence of sprouting seedlings in either bag indicated pregnancy. Moreover, the gender prediction added a twist. If barley sprouted first, it was believed to be a boy, and if wheat sprouted first, a girl. Despite the gender hypothesis being scientifically flawed, the test surprisingly boasted a 70% accuracy rate. The secret behind this accuracy? The estrogen in the urine of pregnant women, which stimulated the growth of seeds in the grains. Explore this peculiar historical method and its surprisingly reliable outcomes. Were the Spartans the ultimate badasses in history? When Leonidas of Sparta led 8,000 men against 150,000 Persians, King Xerxes sent a message demanding the surrender of their arms. Leonidas defiantly responded, "Come and take them." Even Alexander the Great's father, King Philip, couldn't conquer Sparta. His warning of destruction if he invaded Laconia received a succinct Spartan reply, "If." In the Battle of Thermopylae, when a Spartan named Dienequez heard of the overwhelming number of Persian archers, his response was, "Good, then we shall have our battle in the shade." The Spartans, known for their fearless spirit, faced challenges with unmatched resolve. Cleopatra's story challenges the legendary perception, as she inherited the throne and co-ruled with her younger brother, but failed to gain noble support, leading to exile. The opportune arrival of Julius Caesar provided a chance to reclaim her throne, and a famous seductive gesture on a carpet ensued. Caesar fought her battles, making her Queen of Egypt, but her reign lacked territorial conquests or personal military leadership. After Caesar's death, she allied with Mark Antony, but their forces were defeated by Octavian, leading Cleopatra to choose a snack-bite-induced suicide over capturi. Alexander's resolute character is evident in 3 key instances. Firstly, when the Athenians hesitated to grant him divine honors, he warned them against neglecting earthly matters. Secondly, when offered a portion of the Persian Empire and marriage to Darius's daughter, Alexander refused to compromise his ambitions, despite his general's advice. Lastly, when questioned about the fate of his vast empire in the face of his impending death, Alexander's response reflected his belief in the survival of the fittest, sparking a power struggle among his generals. These incidents highlight Alexander's determination to secure his legacy and ensure the dominance of his empire beyond his lifetime. Violent sports were prevalent across different empires in history. The Mayans engaged in Pokemon, a ball game where players use their hips and knees to pass the ball through a ring. The captain of the losing team faced decapitation, and sometimes the entire team was sacrificed to appease the gods. Vikings played a version of Tug of War over a pit of fire, with the losers falling into the flames while the winners claimed spoils, often involving women. Egyptians jousted in the Nile, rowing at each other to knock opponents into the water where crocodiles awaited. Romans hosted gladiator games where combatants fought to death, often with wild animals released to raise the stakes. In ancient China, Emperor Qin Shi Huang's laws exempted short individuals from arrest, as height determined adulthood. Men faced strict emotional regulations, with crying prohibited under penalty of having their beards and eyebrows shaved off. Meanwhile, women adhered to a unique pre-marriage tradition, crying for an hour daily for 30 days before their wedding. This ritual involved family members joining in, with the mother participating for 3 weeks, grandmother for 2 weeks, and aunts and sisters for 1 week each. It served as a display of familial affection and adherence to cultural customs.